What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports, it's the #1 Texas channel on YouTube, even though we're an H-Town sports channel. We talk all sports, but only Houston. As you can see, definitely Texas talk coming up. I mean, just look at the background. Look at this guy. You guys miss this guy? I sure as fuck don't. I've been shocking and rocking since yesterday doing the South Side, baby. Texas finally made the move that needed to be made. We're going to get into, it's not a top 5. It's a top 3 with a bonus. The real reasons why Bill O'Brien was fired. And if you think I missed something, you know how salty. You guys are fresh, but if you hit the subscribe button. So hit that subscribe button, become a part of this community. And become a fresh ingredient, and then spill your sauce in the comments. I want to know how you feel. If you think I missed something, if you think you don't agree, you disagree, like everybody's opinions are welcome here. Maybe we will no longer be known as the negative channel. You know, we were right about every fucking thing we said because Bill O'Brien's gone. So now everybody sounded like us the last few weeks. Real interesting. But let's fucking get into it. Let's get into it right now, man. Stop wasting time. Let's go. Let's go. So let's get into, you know, what it is. Usually when we do these top 3 videos, top 5 videos, or whatever it may be, we tend to kind of go from best to worst. But I don't think any of these reasons are any more impactful than the other. But I think they all contributed to it. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first point is Bill O'Brien's average at best. 52-48 record. I mean, you're talking about 2 games from 500. Well, 4 games from 500. Allocate them the other way. You know what I'm saying? Don't be particular. And again, 7 years, or going into year 7, whatever you want to call it, 7 years, never gave you a top 10 offense. For this guy to be an offensive guru, to be some QB specialist, and you know, this is a guy that you hosts all these QB clinics. He's got videos on Amazon on how to be a great QB coach, yet he's never fielded one. Bill O'Brien is a scammer. Bill O'Brien scammed the Houston Texans. Like they fell for it. Like Bill O'Brien should go to jail. He's a fucking scammer. Never gave you a top 10 offense. And the record looks as good as it did because he took a team that was talented. You can take the year prior, a very talented team, and basically took advantage of a mediocre AFC South for the next few years. You know what I mean? Like top to bottom, the Texans were one of the most talented teams in the league, just lacking that quarterback. I mean, the guys that he thought were good, Hoyers, Mallets, and let's not act like, oh, he was forced to take. He wanted those. He desired the playing style of Ryan Mallett and fucking Brian Hoyer. Another problem with him being a coach, being the man in charge, is he's indecisive. Like you saw the Hoyer Mallett situation, how quickly that got switched, and then you kind of saw it with the Savage Watson thing, even though that was probably a better decision. But you saw how quickly, like, can you not evaluate talent to be the QB guru? Can you not see when one guy is clearly better than the other? Like, then that's a problem. So I think the lack of talent, he's just average at best. Again, those numbers are juiced up by playing against the Mettenbergers, the Mariotas, the Bortles of the world, the Matt Castles for a little bit, the Brissetts of the world. You had a little bit of Andrew Luck. And even sometimes those guys gave you issues. Don't forget, we lost to Blaine Gabbert. So mediocre at best. The guy, like I said, his offense is averaged 14, 17, somewhere in that. They were middle of the pack. Like his numbers tell you he's average. Again, his win-loss record, 7 years, just above average. And it's like I say, he's a decent, average regular season coach. I think he's a guy that his job is similar to what he did at Penn State. Get him through a transitional period. And that's what he should have been here with the Texans. Just a stopgap. Should have been here 7 years. So that's the first thing. Average at best. And people can hype it up, and I used to love that Steto when leading at halftime. Yeah, leading against the fucking AFC South and they were trash. You know, he's got this score. What's the opposite of that? Like, what's the other stat? Yeah, I don't want to know that. So again, average at best. When the odds are in his favor, he's able to do what any average person should do and succeed. But let's go ahead and get into the second point and make sure, hey, if you want a deeper discussion with, you know, Sauce Nation, the Roundtable, me, myself, everybody in the mix, like I say, just go to the Patreon, patreon.com/saucesports. Subscribe for any tier, sign up at any tier. We'll get you to the link to the Discord. It is raw and uncut. If you want that real conversation, shit that we can't say on YouTube and certain other platforms, definitely goes down in the Discord. But you gotta be there for it because none of that shit gets saved. So if you miss it, you miss it. It is what it is. Or you can join the Super Saucy tier on this channel. And let's get into the second real reason why Billy O'Brien Bill O'Brien, Bill Butt Chin, whatever the many names that you have. Crimson. I won't be able to use any more Crimson Chin, so that sucks. But let's get to number 2 right. Now, here's where I lost my respect for Bill. If you've been around here long enough, people say, oh, they just hated Bill from this. That's fucking true. I was riding with Bill up until the playoff loss to the Colts a couple of years back. That's when it showed me he was inept. And I struggled to even stay on par with that season, even with the streak and all that. You could see what was going on. They're barely getting out of some of those wins. But problematic in the playoffs. That's one of Bill O'Brien's biggest issues, the embarrassing playoff exits. In the 7 years, everybody loves to throw out, well, he won 4 division titles. It's fucking retarded. He won 4 division titles, but yet he's got nothing to show for it in the playoffs. He's 2-4 in the playoffs. You won against Connor Cook and the Raiders. Connor Cook, what was it, in the XFL, I think, last time we checked if he was there. And I don't think Connor Cook played a game after that. So that tells you what that was. And then you beat the Bills last year on Deshaun Watson's miracle play. If you're an idiot, you can tell me that Bill O'Brien drew that up exactly like that to Taiwan Jones if you want to. If you want to be that dumb, some of you are. That's cool. But, it's taken miracles. Again, talent supersedes what he's on. The team has had to play above and beyond. Think about the wins, even that year with that streak, the Dallas game. That was hot, they were doing above and beyond. So my thing is, like I said, when it comes against the playoffs, and this is the same point I was making about the regular season playing against contenders, Bill O'Brien's not good. Talent can only take you so far. Putting the talent in the right position, scheming that talent open, or creating schemes where that talent can be properly utilized defensively and offensively. This never happened under this man. You saw the talent diminish. We've seen careers get wasted. You've seen some guys, 7 years of wasting JJ. You've seen a lot. There were some injuries, of course, during that. But the playoffs are what counts. If you want to consider the Texans to be a contender and you get embarrassed every time against the potential Super Bowl champions, to me, that was probably the worst playoff loss of all time. You jump out 24 and end up losing the game by 20 points, and you let these motherfuckers put 51 on you. Should have been fired on the spot right then. But that tells you kind of where I guess the Texans were. I don't know. That should have been it. The Colts game should have told you one thing. That game should have told you nothing. You're not. This coach can't put you in the class of contender. You can be a playoff team, but the Texans have never been a contender under Bill O'Brien because it's clearly obvious when playing against better teams what happened. You had the loss to the Chiefs initially in his first playoff run, 30-0, embarrassing with Hoyer. You had, I'm talking about the Patriots one again. His playoff differential alone, that's a negative 57. How do you have negative 57 with 6 games in which 2 of them you won, which have a negative 57 point differential? And I know, what was that, 20 of that in that KC game? We just sprinkle that to the 30. In the other KC game, the Chiefs got 50 of that alone, right? So it's embarrassing. It was very embarrassing to know that you have a talented team and this guy's leading it and leading you, in the wrong direction. But enough about his playoff failures, his lack of ability to compete against quality coaching, against quality teams. We're going to get to the real reason, or the number one reason, and again, there's a bonus reason at the end. It's only the top 3, but we still got a bonus at the end. That Bill O'Brien is no longer the head coach of Houston Texans. Probably shouldn't be, no longer the GM either. Probably should not be an authority in anybody's organization ever again. Probably needs to seek some mental health help, but that's another conversation. Let's get into it. So, this is where I think Billy O bit off more than he could chew when he assumed the general manager role. The situation with Rick Smith getting him up out of here, Brian Game, quote unquote, we were simpatico, and I don't like getting lied to, but that was obvious. And then he assumed the role, the assistance of Jack Easterby and other former Patriot flunkies. Bill O'Brien might have been the worst general manager figurehead of all time. We can talk about letting Clowney go and still paying his salary. Like, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh, get over Clowney." It's not about that because some of y'all are kind of obtuse with it. Some of you Texas fans are really obtuse with this shit. It's about value. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna let a player go with that type of potential, like, it's about value. And so, like, he chose not to do. Like, stop getting out of your emotions sometimes, and just kind of pay attention to what's really going on. But anyway, the Clowney thing is one thing, right? Letting Reader walk for nothing. I don't think they made him an offer, honestly. There you go. Another situation. Oh, he's going to be paid too much for it. I try to offer him a seat, try to keep me here, let him know he's won. You extended Whitney Merciless. This is just like, I'm trying to give you shit like, technically the Clowney GM thing wasn't under him, but I threw that in there because, Clowney favoritism. I'm trying to focus mainly on things that happened under his tenure, right, as the general manager. Where are we? Let's see. Jordan Thomas, you let him go in favor of Kylie, and it is what it is. I don't even know how long he's been. Kylie's gonna be out. Jordan Thomas is in Arizona making plays, and your tight end goes down as soon as you get rid of him. That's neither here nor there. Nobody, that's hindsight, but it is what it is. Signing Aaron Murray, an unknown. Nobody's ever heard of him. The players on the field, on the team don't even know where he's from or who he is. And you went and gave him a lot of money, or a solid amount of money for a guy that nobody's really familiar with. Whatever. You gave up a second-round pick for Brandon Cooks, but he says, "Hey, wait 3 years before you decide on how these things work out." There's a reason why you went and gave up a second-round pick for Brandon Cooks, because you thought that you're going to bring a guy in that was going to replace the worst move in the history of the NFL, possibly, aside from maybe one or two other extremely notable names. Those have been a while. You traded away the best receiver in the league for basically David Johnson. David Johnson hasn't panned out really well. I don't think it's all his fault though, so I'm not going to shit all on him for that. But I mean, you got hoes, so you basically got a running back you're paying more money for that isn't doing as well as the running back you had last year that you basically picked up off the street right before the season started. Not the street was traded for right before the season started. He's going to get cut. So there's that. As long as D-Hop is playing well and plays well, like, it's always going to look bad on Johnson. That's not his fault. It is what it is. The weight of the Tunsil trade, right? Everything you gave up for Tunsil, and Steals was a throw-in. You can try to say, "Oh, that was for Steals' sake," or whatever. But everything you gave up for Tunsil, and at this point, like, Tunsil's good, don't get me wrong, but I think under Devlin and these players get worse. That was the whole excuse. So Devlin ain't had first round talent. He hasn't had guys to work with. You got them, and they look worse. Like, they look terrible. Again, I don't give him Howard's playing better than I expected. Whatever. I'm sure that's some other things, but and I'm not saying Tunsil looks terrible, but I don't know, if we feel like right now we're getting the value out of it because people thought that Tunsil was going to fix the whole line, so you invested a whole lot into that. And you're still having the same sack issues now with it being gone. Let's see. It was the release of Gibson, and I'm just throwing this in there because that was kind of last afterthought. Who now is in what Chicago and has more picks than has more turnovers by himself than your entire defense, right? In 4 games. And again, I'm not going to sit here and say I was a super Gibson stan or whatever, but the moves that he makes, every time somebody gets up out of here, they go on to have success elsewhere. You have to let Wilker go out of your coaching staff. He goes on, he's damn near a Super Bowl guy. It's just a lot of stuff that happens in this organization, or that happened in this organization under Bill O'Brien. And I think you add all this up with the other 2 reasons, and eventually you had to make a decision. And, going on to kind of put an exclamation point on that, the straw that broke the camel's back. And as somebody said, that was the straw. I've said that camel's been on IR for fucking 2 years. So that back has been broken. I don't know what's going on. But let's get to the bonus, right? And I don't know how this goes. Like I said, we'll get to the bonus. We're going to talk about some things. And honestly, this video is very long. We're going to get to the bonus point right now. And I'm going to tell you, the culmination of everything, why. Somebody else knows. Stay tuned. So, before we get into that, I'll do a little bit of shameless plugging. Patreon.com/saucesports or join the channel as a super saucy tier member or higher if you want to get into the Discord conversation. Unlike anything else, it's made the past 4 games bearable to watch. Like I said, we had games on in the Discord, so you can watch it if you're not catching it. Be a part of that discussion. Like I said, we all get chopped up. Everybody's welcome to have input, and like I said, get to chop it up live and directly with the Roundtable. So make sure you're part of that. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You're not a real Sauce Sports fresh ingredient until you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification. Live weekdays, 6 p.m. I know we didn't go yesterday, we went a little early. Had something to take care of, but we're good to go now. So let's get into the bonus. Let's get into the last reason why we're celebrating today. Bill O'Brien is gone right now. So the last final thing, I'm not even gonna make this long. It's been fucking time. Anybody with 2 sets of eyes should have been able to see that this guy is not it, that he's not improved, that he made decisions for personal reasons that were detrimental to the team. And then he sat there and lied to you. You bought it. You did. You did. He told you this was the best use for the TA. We saw the issues. Anybody with personality, anybody with a little bit of dog in him, anybody with a little bit of fight in him, anybody who probably wasn't bound down to his rule as tyranny was pushed out the door. He wanted a bunch of bitch-ass dudes in that locker room, in that organization who bowed down to him. Rumors have come out that when he would fire people, give you a lot of oh my God. Y'all remember Kings of Comedy when, what's the name said, the wishing in the wood? I wish here, I beat the butt off his face. But anyway, that's another thing. But again, some people built different. But the Boston Bean is out of here. I'm glad he's gone. Culturally, he was never a fit. And I hope we get rid of all Patriot ties. This is fucking Houston. This is H-Town. Get somebody with some fucking Southern ties in this bitch. I don't want no fucking Yankees in this goddamn organization. If you're mad about it, goddamn it, hit the comment section below and complain. But it's been past time. There's no excuse. When you saw the constant ineptitude in the playoffs, that should have told you something. If you feel like the Texans are getting better, but yet every year in and year out, you struggle with quality teams. And even with last year, with getting his best victories against the Chiefs and the Patriots game, it was close to almost a comeback. It could have been a comeback had a ball bounced just slightly different. But you still get embarrassed by the Ravens. When it comes to top tier teams, you're not even competing half the time. And that shows where he's at. 7 years in, and you haven't seen a real improvement on the field aside from talent. And the talent's gotten worse. This was a super talented team. Now it's bare bones. Now you got Deshaun Watson, an elderly J.J. Watt. You got a young Justin Reed, a young Zach Cunningham. Aside from that, you can pick and choose maybe some personal favorites, but not a lot of talent here. Will, I don't even know what Will is right now. I got another video I'm supposed to record yesterday. I'm going to try to record it today. Maybe we'll talk about that. But hey, like I said, I'm not going to waste a lot of time. It's been about time. The last reason is your reason. What is your reason? Why do you feel like Bill was out of here? Hit that comment section below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel. But I know it feels good to celebrate O'Brien's fun. If you feel good, at least hit me with what's the motherfucking deal in the comments. Sauce Nation, I fuck with y'all. Y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. I don't care what nobody else. I don't care what the mainstream radio people and the other people be talking about and say about y'all. I think y'all all right. What the hell is Sauce Sports? Check out the news. Y'all fresh motherfucking degrees, man. I'm out. I feel good. Don't y'all feel the energy though? Can't y'all feel the sauce? Getting more positive by the minute. Fuck man. We out. Perfect.